Now here's my chat with Tope on her book and a few other related matters. Tope, nice to have you on the Channels Book Club.
Thank you so much, Kunle. It's always a pleasure to be here.
How did you transit from writing about money to writing fiction?
You know, honestly, I just had to be myself. I had to search my mind about who I am and to begin to write what comes naturally to me, not what, I've been taught or what I think I should write. And this just flowed. This was just an easier book to write.
Interesting. Okay, now the central character here is Nura,
Yeah.
correct? Very interesting character.
Yeah.
Is Nura Tope?
Nura is Tope, really.
Okay.
Honestly, Nura in Arabic means light. And what I wanted to do was to shed light into my soul. So, and if you look at the beginning of the book, when Nura describes herself, she talks about the fact that she was 38 at the time, that she was divorced. She left a high-flying job that people thought she liked, which she didn't quite enjoy. And those were things that were true about me. Nura just lost her dad, which was very true about me as well. So Nura is Tope. Nura liked to write, she liked to think, she liked to see, how this whole world comes together, and that's very much me.
Okay, let me read. I think this is page 9 here. That's page 9. A diary is usually a private thing.
Yes.
But I am sharing mine with the world because the only things you truly own are the things you give away.
Mm-hmm.
So, this book is your diary.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes.
So we're reading your diary here.
It's my diary, but then I added some fiction to it. That's boring. Just reading my diary and my take on how life should be the same, how you should observe the ocean. Nobody wants to read just that. So I decided to, add a love story.
So which part of this is fiction now?
So
is it the love story part? Is it Habib?
The Habib is fiction. Habib and the son, they were fiction at the time, but they're no longer fiction now.
Oh, tell me about that. Okay, now wait, let me read here. Let me read what you wrote
Okay.
here. Okay, you wrote here, I think page 32.
Okay.
Where's that? Okay, now, our guide began saying something in English, but honestly, I could not hear a single word. The only thing I heard was the sweet greeting of peace and blessings from the masculine wonder of the world. I responded likewise and found that my throat had suddenly gone dry. My name is Habib.
Yes.
So Habib there is fictional.
Habib is fictional. At this point, and throughout Cancun, there was no Habib. Habib came to life two months after the book.
2 months after the book.
2 months after the book. But what the book did and what, creating this character did was to help me figure out what I wanted next time I was going down this love journey. So I started to think boldly, what do I want? What kind of man do I really want to be with? And I kind of created him in the book. And somehow, if your mind can conceive something, then your God can do it. And he did it.
I was going to ask you how close is the real Habib to fictional Habib?
The real Habib and the fictional Habib, there's only one thing that is different between them, their age.
Oh.
Everything from, they're having a son, to having the son woo the woman, to the job that Habib does in this book, and the job that the husband does in real life, are actually the same.
Incredible.
The same.
Incredible. So you must have been stunned when you actually met Habib.
I was shocked.
The real Habib.
I was shocked because I think the word is not shocked. The word is I was freaked out because I couldn't understand how it was possible to write something.
So you created this fictional story.
I did.
And then it became real.
It became real.
Interesting.
Yes, it became real. And people, I've been asking, so you married him? I said, yes, I married him. Because once I saw him, once I met him, it became obvious to me what was going on. That my mind wasn't just creating something, it was God that was inspiring me in terms of what direction I needed to go next. So I saw him and it was just easy for me to say yes.
So this book is a combination of fiction and reality.
Yes.
Now, let me read somewhere else, something else you wrote at the beginning. I think that's in page. Okay, let's start with page 5.
Okay.
My name is Nura. I am 38 years old and single. Well, I think the right word to use may be divorced since I was married once. But I don't know. But I don't know if I should really count that marriage, since it crashed like a pack of cards in 2 years and 8 months.
Yes, that's true.
That must have been tough, right?
It was very tough, and honestly, but I always say that all the pain that we go through is to birth a new us. Yes, my first marriage crashed in 2 years and 8 months exactly, after a big fanfare wedding. But it helped me to begin the solo vacations, which led me to this book, which led me to the Habib in real life. So yes, it was tough, it was hard, but it was meant to be.
What I liked about your book, one thing I liked about your book is I enjoyed you being real. You know, the moment I suspected Tope is Nura, I admired the genuineness, the openness. Now, that's not very African.
Yes, it's not very African, and let me also say it's not very typical of a Muslim woman as well. But I found that in this life and this pursuit of happiness, we all face the same struggles. So there's no reason, pretending like you're not struggling like I'm struggling. Because if we keep up these pretenses that we have, then one day somebody's going to really feel like, okay, I'm just the only one who is having a hard life. And they're going to do something really drastic. And I feel like in sharing my story, both in this book and in real life, because I teach now about life and purpose, I'm able to connect with people because they like the vulnerability. There's nothing that can happen. I already lost 4 pregnancies. It's
4 pregnancies?
Yes. So what is the worst that can happen? It already happened. But what I do with that pain is what really makes my life count. If I cannot use that pain to help somebody else who has just lost their first pregnancy or who has lost, maybe 4 or 5, then my trial has been wasted, and that's not what life is supposed to be. We're not supposed to waste this life.
This is self-published, right?
Yes.
That's
my first book.
That's a new phenomenon all over the world now. Did
Yes.
you try to get a classical publisher, a traditional publisher?
No, I didn't, because I self-published my first book, and I enjoyed the experience. Because being a publisher means that you have to work with editors, you have to work with marketing people, you have to work with all sorts of people. It really tests you.
So you did all that for your own book?
Yes, I did.
There are a lot of publishers I know who
Yes.
do everything themselves,
No.
particularly in Nigeria.
No,
and I always
can't.
wonder, how do you do that?
No, I cannot. I don't have the skills. And there's no way you can write and then not get second and third and fourth and fifth and sixth opinions about what you've written, because if you're creating something, you might think you are really creating that vision in your mind, but you need to see how it translates into the reader's minds. And if you don't hire competent editors, competent marketers, then you're going to get nowhere.
You are one of the 5% of writers I've met who don't like to read.
Yes, I actually don't like to read. I don't. I have to read in very small bits.
Isn't that a contradiction?
A
writer who wants her book read but
Yes.
doesn't like to read.
I have to read in small bits, and that's, you see, with my first book and also the second book, it's never more than 150 pages, because I know myself. If I see a book that is more than 150 pages, I probably won't read it. Yes.
So, Love in Cancun, the diary of Nura,
Yes.
the story of Nura,
Yes.
who has a lot of problems and
Yes.
who goes for an alone time,
Yes.
and then discovers love.
Yes.
Fantastic. That can be a movie, isn't it?
It can, and people have asked me if I want it to be a movie, but there is still going to be the next chapter and the next chapter. But I want to be very, open about this, that love that I found, which was the real me at the end of the book, wasn't just talking about the love of the fictional, male character. It was about love for life, in spite of all the challenges. It was about love for my purpose, in spite of all the problems that come with it. It was about love for humanity, in spite of all the wars and everything that we face. It was about love for God and love for it was just about love for life, really. And I want people to come away with thinking, there's a lot to love in my life. And the earlier I start taking notes of those things, the better.
Okay, Tope, thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Kunle. It's always a honor to be here. Thank you.
It's nice having you on the Channels Book Club.
Thank you. God bless.